Hello citizens, this is Acor, and this is a video I really did not want to make. The white paper for Earth 2's cryptocurrency, which is called Essence, was released 5 days ago on March 31st, 2024. It was highly anticipated. Thousands of people were looking forward to it for years. People have been waiting for this to be released. And for the past 5 days, I've been searching YouTube for a video that covers it in a way that I think does it justice. And I just haven't seen it. So I'm not a crypto expert. I don't want to be a crypto expert. No sort of crypto guru. I'm not pretending to be. But, there's something to be seen here. And for the most part, people in Earth 2 pay attention to Earth 2 ongoings and Essence. And there's a whole huge audience of people that care a lot about crypto. And this is right under their nose. And they don't even see it coming. And it's going to come. It's going to be significant in the crypto world. And people are going to be wishing they knew about it. So, for those of you that watch this video, you're welcome. So, Earth 2 was originally developed 3 years ago. Not that it was developed, but they first opened for business. And people were able to buy land in there. I was one of the original people buying land. My account is pretty big. I'm not the biggest account, but I mean, probably at some point somebody made a list of everybody's accounts in order of size. I was in the top 200 or so, which is pretty good considering there's thousands of users. What I personally like about Earth 2 is that when I was a teenager, I heard about Entropia Universe. That was a game. It still is a game that has all their own economic system, and all the in-game currency is transferable to the real-world currency. So back then I thought that was amazing. Since then I always thought video games should move in that direction. And I'm excited that they're starting to, but we're at the very beginning of a whole world of video games that on national currencies and have assets that retain value and can be sold and traded as the users wish. So that's why I was excited about Earth 2 when I first learned about it. That's why I'm still excited about Earth 2. And really when I got into Earth 2, it was the first metaverse project I was aware of. And I feel lucky that I jumped into it over any other projects that I didn't even know about. So I was just lucky in that sense. Earth 2 has done well since then. Right in the beginning, a lot of the land prices shot up. I mean, you can still buy land relatively inexpensively in Earth 2. The market for land, it's flat. I mean, the land gets traded back and forth. There's buyers and sellers. The jewel market's pretty good. When you own land, you're given jewels and ether every day. So just for owning land. But, a certain amount. So statistically, if you only owned one tile, there's a small percentage you'll be given, a jewel every day. But, if you own 750 tiles, at that point, I think you're basically guaranteed at least one jewel per day. And I think per tile, it's roughly 0.04 ether per day per tile. And then when ether gets transformed into essence, I think it's roughly 6.5% of ether becomes essence. So essence has been collected for years by Earth 2 users, and they've been sitting around waiting for essence to become a cryptocurrency. And as per the white paper, essence will be a crypto in April or May of 2024. And the world of crypto, they don't even see it coming yet because it's not listed on exchange. So it's going to be listed on exchange, and people are going to be saying, wow, I wish I would have picked up long ago. So I'm basically making this video to look at what Essence might be worth. And when I say coming to an exchange near you, it will be on Uniswap. And, there's a lot of murmurs that it'll be on a lot of other exchanges by the end of the year. But starting April or May, it will be on Uniswap. Okay, so background, lands, jewels, ether, essence, buying land, collecting rewards. That's basically what I just went over. You buy land, it gives you jewels, it gives you ether every day. You have to log in to collect them, and you could go and buy new land. I'll give you my discount code. If you type it in, I think you get 7.5% discount on new land, but it's better to buy pre-owned land. And I try to stick to tier 1. Tier 1 land will always give the best benefits. There's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, with tier 3 being the cheapest. There will be ways to upgrade tiers in the future, but it's going to be expensive, so I would just rather buy tier 1 now and reap the benefits the whole time. Other than that, there seems to be benefits if you buy small plots, if you buy one tile by itself. on average you get more jewels per that one tile than if you bought a large size property, but that's planned to be offset by other benefits in the future for larger properties. So for me, I would just go in the marketplace. I just bought a property today in the marketplace. I spent $340 for the least expensive Tier 1 Class 1 property. Slapped an EPL on it, that'll generate me jewels in Essence forever. But I like to go Tier 1 Class 1, because in the future, when Tier 2 can be upgraded to Tier 1, there will be more Tier 1 that exists than there is now. But Class 1 there's only so much Class 1 property, and there'll never be more. So as far as we know, when people buy new land in the same country as you, the people that already own properties there get some, they call it land income tax. Class 1 gets the most land income tax, but now, people mostly buy, they're not buying new land for the most part. People that are informed probably buy land off the marketplace, somebody already owns, so there's no land income tax for that. But there will likely be more benefits in the future to Class 1 properties. And even if there's not, just for the collectability value, there's only so much Class 1. That's why I try to stick with Tier 1, Class 1. Alright, so here's a graphic right off of the Earth 2 white paper. And, make no mistake about it, these metrics are very impressive. 900k social media followers is absolutely nothing to laugh at. That is a very serious number. I think Earth 2 just hit 700,000 followers on YouTube. The Discord alone has more than 20,000 followers. That's more than Decentraland and Sandbox combined on Discord. 120 land tiles sold. So it is the largest virtual land registry in the history of the world. And that's part of the Earth 2 vision, and part of what makes Earth 2 great, in my opinion. It's Earth 2 always positioned themselves to be affordable to start for users. You could make a free account if you wanted access to Essence. You could just buy jewels, Luminous jewels. Just figure Tier 3 Luminous jewels. So the tiers are backwards from the land to the jewels, whereas in the land, Tier 1 is the best, in jewels, Tier 3 is the best. And when you look at the quality of jewels, for Tier 3 Luminous jewels, it requires roughly somewhere between 140 and 160 essence to create one Tier 3 Luminous jewel. Right now, I sold some of the past few days for $9 each, which, they sell, so there are buyers at that price. Sometimes they sell for more than that, but if you're buying the equivalent of 140 essence, say, for $9, what are you paying for them? 10 cents each? I guess even less than that. As far as land goes, there is land you could go on there and buy for 10 cents per tile. So it is affordable to get into, and that's part of, what makes Earth 2 great. Because if you figure video games, what do most people pay for video games these days? If it's a computer game, maybe $40. For a console game, maybe $60, $70, whatever it might cost. So for $60, $70, you could probably have at least 100 tiles that'll generate you jewels in Essence every day, basically forever. Part of the white paper explains that as certain milestones are hit with the total essence mined from the properties, the rates will be halved. The first halving will occur at 500 million, and they said, I think I have it in the slideshow, but when the white paper is released, there will be roughly 300 million essence in circulation. 22 million paid out to players. That's something their Earth 2 team is very proud of. There are users that were able to put food on their table, spend money on their kids. For a lot of people, the money that they earned in Earth 2 really made a difference in their lives. And there's 180,000 unique essence holders. So, there's over 650,000 players, but 180,000 unique essence holders. So some of the players do have multiple accounts, and some players might have been inactive since the property started generating essence, which off the top of my head is probably 2 years ago. The highest single property trade is $65. I used to know what that was. It might be something in Manhattan. In the white paper, it did say there was a jewel. The most expensive jewel sold was for $8,500. That happened to be me, and that was for a brilliant T3 jewel. It's when you make T3 luminous jewels, there's a small chance, I think it's maybe 1 out of 120 chance to become a brilliant jewel. So if you start calculating, all the essence it would cost to make a brilliant jewel, ultimately, based on what I think essence is going to be worth, that's not a bad deal for somebody buying it. And, I'm granted about, figure 100 jewels a day and about 100 essence per day. All right. So just in general in the white paper, I don't want to miss these points. It is a ERC20 token, which means it's going to be a layer 1 token on Ethereum. You know, a lot of times the layer 1 Ethereum tokens, and this is the kind of stuff I'm definitely not an expert on, but from my understanding, they have high transaction fees, which isn't great. But if we compare it to other metaverses, pretty much the ERC20 token seems to be the standard. And there are other ways to trade it. Like in the beginning, Essence will be on Uniswap, but it'll probably be on other exchanges, and it could possibly go through other layer 2 tokens. So, you know, the Earth 2 team is aware that ERC20 tokens typically have high transaction fees, and that's not something that they like or want. So I'm pretty sure there will be ways to transact it without the high fees. And the total max supply is 1 billion. That was very exciting for Earth 2 users because it was originally mentioned that there was likely going to be a 5 billion supply of Essence. So when you look at total market cap, you know, someone like me or any other user, say I get 100 Essence per day. That's 100 Essence out of 1 billion total. 1 billion total now. But it was originally planned for that would be 100 out of 5 billion. So the amount of Essence now is much greater, you know, percentage-wise than it would have been with the original plan. And that's really part of the vision of Earth 2. They like to treat their users well, and they don't like the barrier of entry to be very expensive. They want most people, pretty much anybody, to be able to go into Earth 2 and enjoy it. So even for people that never spend a dime in it, they want people to go into Earth 2 and for them to enjoy the metaverse that's built. As of now, there's Earth 2 has their website that you could log into, you create a free account. For a free user, there's not really much to do in there. Some people have, just to prove a point, you could design hollow buildings for free and sell the blueprints. To me, that seems like, the amount of work and what you get out of it isn't really worth it, but it is possible. And there are people that started accounts with nothing and sold their hollow building designs to create a robust account. All right. And here is Essence allocation versus Decentraland and Sandbox. So, I think the ideal scenario, at least for the Essence launch, if it gets evaluated in a similar way that Decentraland and Sandbox is evaluated, that's the best that Earth 2 users and Essence holders could ask for. Because Decentraland and Sandbox, they're already established. So when you compare user numbers, Earth 2 might have similar number of users, maybe even more users. Decentraland and Sandbox, they've been in development for much longer, and they already have a quote-unquote metaverse where people can log in and run around. That being said, just based on experiences I've heard of in Decentraland Sandbox, people said they're not great. There's a lot of complaints. They said there's a lot of glitches. They said a lot of it is emptiness. So I heard it wasn't very enjoyable. But whether it's enjoyable or not, it is more established in Earth 2. So it's the people that hold Essence, we would love for it to be evaluated in the same way as Decentraland and Sandbox. And will we get there? Personally, I think we will. Will we surpass Decentraland and Sandbox in terms of the experience of quality? I do think that too. But it's not going to be right at the gate because Earth 2 is releasing their pre-alpha in the next 2 months. So that's going to be everybody's first access to the metaverse world. Anybody that wants to sign up for pre-alpha is more than welcome to. There's an application on the Earth 2 website to sign up for Earth 2 pre-alpha. But this year, we're just looking at how the tokens are allocated. And basically my point is, this is the Earth 2 token allocation. 65% mined from land. That's the users. That's people that own land. So that's a huge chunk compared to Decentraland and Sandbox. The 10% rewards, that's play to earn. So that's for people that want to log in and play in Earth 2. Probably not in pre-alpha. There'll probably be at least some mechanisms that users can acquire Essence from, but I'm not sure if that'll actually be able to be deposited into their wallet. Earth 2 is going to function with MetaMask, so people can create a MetaMask wallet and connect to their Earth 2 account. 25% to the treasury. The 25% going to the treasury, that's for the company Earth 2. If they want to give their employees bonuses, if they want to sell it and use it for marketing, that's what the treasury is for. Now, when we compare it to others, Decentraland, 40% is crowd sale, the ICO, the initial coin offering. Earth 2 didn't do an ICO, but basically Earth 2 selling land is their version of ICO. So people buy land and get essence generated every day from their land. So it's a different thing, but that's 40%. And then they did 20% to the Decentraland Foundation, 20% to team and early contributors, and 20% to community and partners. I'm not sure if any of this goes towards play to earn. Maybe there's 20% does. I don't think so, but either way, it's way less beneficial to the users than Earth 2. And Earth 2, Earth 2 is positioning themselves that way. You know, right on the white paper, it says the people's metaverse. They want to be in favor of decentralization, and they want to be against large corporations controlling the metaverse. So they really want to be known as being on the side of the users. The sand allocation, let's see. Launchpad sale, seed sale, maybe even a strategic sale. These are basically their like crowdfunding, their ICO, if you want to say so. So that's 25%. And you have the foundation, the team, advisors, and company reserve. That's 25, 35, 55. That's like 65% is for the company. So it's backwards from Earth 2. So they're putting way more of their token in the hands of their company rather than their users. And that's just, company strategy, I suppose. So here we have Decentraland and Sandbox versus Essence, like price comparison, market caps and such. So where Decentraland and the Sandbox, their market caps are a little over $1 billion. And that's determined by the markets. People buy their coins, the price of the coins go up, that increases the market cap. And then you have circulating supply, we have roughly 2 billion. 2 billion, that's a big number. But basically, we know when Essence is released, the circulating supply is going to be roughly 3 million. So, just hypothetically, if Earth 2 is given a similar market cap to Decentraland and Sandbox, that would be $1 billion market cap for Earth 2, and that would mean Essence is worth $3.60 each. That's unbelievable, being that you can buy land. I mean, it's just say you went in Earth 2, you bought a T1 C1 property. I bought one today for $340. That's probably going to generate me. You want to do some math? Let's do some math here. All right, to the best of my knowledge, it's 750 tiles. Per tile generates 0.06 ether. That's 45 ether, and then it's 6.5% times 6.5% becomes essence. That's 3 essence per day. So for $350, I get 3 times 3.6. So that's $10 a day. So what, in 35 days that property will pay for itself, and then for the rest of my life it's going to generate me essence and jewels. That's an incredible deal, because it's just the gift that keeps giving pretty much forever. But this is the most ideal scenario, at least from the gate, because Decentraland and Sandbox are already established. There's celebrities involved in them. There's worlds where you go run around. Will Earth 2 have a world where you go run around? Yes. Will it be better than Decentraland and Sandbox? In my personal opinion, by far. But it's just not there yet. Their pre-alpha is coming out in the next 2 months or so, where people can go in and play test. But even then, the amount of things you're going to be able to do in there is going to be limited in the beginning. The possibilities of what you can do eventually are going to be nearly endless, but that's not where Earth 2 is right now. So $3.60 is the most ideal scenario right out of the gate. So on our next slide, we see some other metaverse tokens. Wilder World, Star Atlas, Victoria VR. These are their situations are more similar to Earth 2 than Decentraland and Sandbox at the time being. I think Earth 2 is way better. But as far as in terms of development, they're not fully developed yet. Victoria VR, I was on their website before. I remember when they came out, but it seems like half the buttons on their website don't even work. Earth 2 is way better than that. Star Atlas, they've had their problems. It doesn't seem like they're really developed at all. It seems like they have a little game on their website you can sign up to play, but it's not nearly a metaverse yet. And Wilder World, I don't. They might have some playtesting, so I guess that's in a similar stage of development as Earth 2. At least it seems like that a little bit. But their whole metaverse is going to be the size of Miami. Does it look cool? Yeah, it looks cool. But I'm not completely sold on their development. So anyway, these three, their market caps are, let's see, 250 million, 100 million, close to 200 million. I mean, if Earth 2 is there, you're talking about hovering around $1 per essence, right? Just figure $1 per essence. Right now, you can buy Sidroids in Earth 2 for 85 cents each, in that ballpark. So just say 80 cents, and they come with 5 essence. So is it 20 cents each? So you can log in Earth 2 right now. The thing with Sidroids, you can't buy Sidroids without owning land to put them on. But just say you own land. You can literally buy essence for 20 cents each. So, you can buy the Sidroids, take the essence out, 5 essence per Sidroid, which is different than jewels, because even though it takes essence to make the luminous jewels, you can't take the essence out yet. I think in the future you will be able to. That hasn't been directly stated by the CEO or any Earth 2 employees, but personally I think it's been implied that you'll be able to. But the Sidroids, you can just take essence out, and then what are you paying? You're paying less than 20 cents per essence, whereas there's very good reason to think it'll be worth $1. And so, it kind of disappoints me that this is going on in the world. This is coming out within the next 2 months, and the whole crypto world is completely blind about it. They don't even know it exists. I watch Alex Becker, and I think he's a real smart guy. I like Alex Becker a lot. I think he does a great job. I think he's real smart. He reminds me of when I used to read up on the stock market every day. But then he dumbs it down for everybody, and he makes jokes and everything else. So Alex Becker should get on this. He should be all over this. He has his name all over it. And then I just want to remind you to get how you could get essence now. Basically the land, the Sidroid, and the jewels. The last point I wanted to make is that it's going to be on Uniswap. At this point in time, it will be late April or May, so this month or next month. So time to get moving. Anybody that wants to be in early, now it's kind of the last chance. Like the door's closing, to be the first in. If you want to get essence before it has a nominal value, before the market sees it and says, oh yeah, it should be at least $1 each. What else did it say in here I wanted to tell you about? I mentioned the halving to you. The halving starts at 500 million. So the amount of essence generated to properties every day will be cut in half for the first time when 500 million essence is released. They said, I think it says right here, we anticipate approximately 300 million tokens in circulation at the initial supply. So it includes tokens unlocked from the treasury and tokens spent by players to date. I think the reason they're saying this is because up here, they say it's on Uniswap, but they also say, from a legal standpoint, for a number of other reasons, Earth 2 would not be providing a liquidity pool. So this is causing some amount of debate within the Earth 2 user community. Some users are planning on making their own liquidity pools on Uniswap, which I read it's possible. I'm probably not going to be doing that because you could lose money if the price sways a lot upwards or downwards, and I don't want to lose money for the price that isn't going up. That's just not what I'm signing up for. Being that they're saying they're not providing a liquidity pool because of legal reasons, but then they're also saying it includes tokens unlocked from the treasury, I think in some way they're going to do something along the lines of a liquidity pool with the tokens released from the treasury, because really, other than the essence mined from everybody's property, there was one airdrop, and there's no way it was 100 million tokens. Maybe they're going to use that somehow to do something along, quote unquote, along the lines of a liquidity pool, or maybe they're going to give it to a third party. So there might be some deal with the third party for a third party to create a liquidity pool, and then for them to take any legal responsibilities that would be related to having a liquidity pool. But that's about it. So personally, I think it's a great deal. It seems like you can go on there, best in class. You could buy tier 1, class 1 property, 750 tiles, roughly $350. And that'll generate you roughly 3 essence per day. I think it'll be $1 each. That's $3 per day. In 30 days. All right, 35 days. 35 divided by 3 is what, 12? All right, in 12 days it would pay for itself, and then you get Essence and Jewels. It just makes sense that once Essence gets listed, probably the price of property is going to skyrocket. The price of Essence is going to go probably to at least $1, and then the price of property is going to go, parabolic. And we're all sitting here waiting and like, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Like, it's going to happen soon. And, I hope, Alex Becker picks this up. He should give me a shout out for this. But, I hope everybody has a great day. I really didn't want to make a video about what Essence might be worth, because a big part of me is in it to play the game. I want to run around in the metaverse. I want to build businesses in there. I like building businesses. I own businesses now. I've owned businesses for, over the course of the past 10 years now. And I really felt like I missed the boat with Entropia when I learned about it as a teenager. When I learned about Entropia as a teenager, you got to be 18 years old to play it. So I wasn't able to play it yet, and then by the time I was an adult, I didn't even know it was still around. As far as I know, Entropia is still around today. And yes, in Entropia, there's winners and losers. You could invest in starting a business in a metaverse or any of these sorts of games, and you could win or lose. It's not different than the real world in that sense. But I'm super excited that this is the direction that video games are headed in. At least some percentage of video games in the future are going to have currency in it that is transferable for real world currency, and assets in the video game that you can buy and sell. And I love that idea. I've always been excited about it. And I think that's the right direction for video games. So people that like to play games can make livings doing it. I think it's incredible. And I mentioned these three. There's many other projects out there that call themselves metaverses. Some of them are scams that don't even plan on being developed, and some of them are just games. Even along the lines of Axie Infinity, where there's games that just call themselves metaverses and they use a cryptocurrency. And some of them might be successful. I was just looking for things most comparable to Earth 2. But one problem that a lot of games are running into that use cryptocurrency, that when cryptocurrency explodes, that are used in video games, people don't want to use it to play the games anymore because they consider it either a waste or too expensive to get into, or too expensive to play. So Earth 2 is mitigating that, because as I said, they want to be on the side of users and they don't want the barrier of entry to be too expensive. So as the price of Essence increases in the real world, the cost of using Essence in the game will go down. So if there's something in the game where it might cost 10 Essence to build something or to power a vehicle, and then Essence skyrockets, instead of costing 10 Essence, maybe it'll cost 1 Essence. Which, they want to keep the game playable. The point of Earth 2 is not cryptocurrency. The point of Earth 2 is to be a metaverse that's sustainable and long-lasting, and cryptocurrency is just a small part of it. The other thing I wanted to mention is that, when we look at Decentraland and Sandbox, and we look at their market caps at $1 billion each, and we're like, wow, that's a lot of money. Yeah, well, at the height of the bull run, I think their market caps were like $6 billion, $9 billion, and most people, a lot of people that pay attention to crypto, and myself included, we think we're on the cusp of another bull market. Today's April 4th. The Bitcoin halving is expected to happen in the next 15 days, and typically every time Bitcoin halves, a bull run follows, which causes a great increase in the value of Bitcoin, and all the old altcoins as a sector usually increase more than Bitcoin does. So will Decentraland and Sandbox get back to several $1 billion? There's a good chance it might, or it might just be, when everything increases, people might be over Decentraland and Sandbox, and they might not get back to all-time highs, but there will definitely be metaverses valued that highly. And do I think it'll be Earth 2? I don't see why not. I mean, I don't know, which metaverse is ahead of it in terms of development. Decentraland and Sandbox, at this point, are more developed, but the user experiences aren't great in there, and I think they lost a lot of users because of it. So time will tell. I'm probably an Earth 2 lifer. I'll probably never sell my properties. I could talk about EPLs because I like talking about EPLs. That's something I didn't even touch on in here. Other than that, I'll provide a link to the white paper. Everybody can read it themselves. I think the other point in there people found interesting is that the number of jewels that will ever be created is limited. I forget how many, but I think now there's a little over 100 million jewels that were spawned on people's property and were collected, and altogether there's going to be 250 million. So all the jewels are halfway distributed, roughly. All the figures are in the white paper. Most people wish they would have went into more detail. I think it was roughly 20 pages, and it was originally 100 pages and was edited down, I guess, to keep things simple for everybody. But I always want to know, like, what should we be looking forward to right now as an Earth 2 user. Right now, what there is to look forward to is the next 2 months. Essence going to be listed on crypto exchanges. It's going to be on Uniswap, and it's going to be able to be taken out of your Earth 2 account via a MetaMask wallet, which is free. And the Earth 2 V1 pre-alpha will be accessible to the Earth 2 users within the next 2 months. So for me, that's the bigger thing to be excited about. I really look forward to getting in there, running around. I want to check out all my properties and plan where I'm building everything. But that's it for now. I hope everybody has a great night. I hope people find this video helpful and useful. And I really hope it reaches some people that aren't already Earth 2 users. And, I hope it reaches a wider, broader audience. Because, there's millions of people that care about crypto, and they're just not seeing it. It's right there, and they're just not seeing it. And in life, I find myself in that position a lot. That I see something, and I try to tell people around me, like, look, it's right here. And they just don't see it. But alright, hey, Core signing off. Hope everybody has a great night. Take care.